In this video here, I'm just going to show you real quickly just to how to actually start the boat, which is pretty important, obviously. In this back locker here, if you open this up, this is where your master power is going to be. And this is just a red C switch. And that's off, obviously. But it's really just on off. That's all you're going to do. It has a smart system to basically distribute everything to the batteries. The only way you would go down to this yellow, I'm sure you can see it here. There's another like that. That's an emergency situation. What that really does is there's separate batteries for the engine and for the actual electronics. When it's in this on position, it just manages all that directly, but you can override that and go to all there, as in if your motor battery happened to go dead for some reason, if you turn it to this, the motor could take power from the other batteries. So, but really you'll never mess with this, just leave it on. Even when you're done with the boat, you can just leave it on, it's not a big deal. But once you do that, you'll actually go over here to your helm, and there's a little button here next to the keys, and that's actually going to turn on all your electronics. You'll see the screen start coming on here now, and it takes a second to just boot up. And this is just a little warning label. You can just acknowledge that, and there you go, you're good to go. Other than that, as far as actually starting the boat, it's really just like a car. I mean, you just turn it on, and all your gauges will come to life there, and just crank it over. So that's really it. I guess while we're doing this, I can go ahead and show you the throttle here. On here, it's pretty standard. I mean, it's just there's no gears or anything. You're just gonna go, forward and back. One more important thing though is this thing will lock in neutral right here. You do have to lift it up to get it out. So if you're bumping in and out of gear here, you can just kind of leave it up. That'll keep you from hitting it into gear or anything. Another important trick I always tell people that are new to driving is when you're actually driving the boat, you don't want to set your hand on here, because if you have it in forward and you're moving and you hit a bump, you're going to flip this forward, and that's how you see all those real fun YouTube videos of people flying out of the boat. So, but when you're actually going and you're in full gear, this is what this little plate's here for. You can just rest your hand here, so there, and you can just kind of tap it with your finger. So if you're hitting bumps and stuff, you're not actually hitting the throttle. So that's a good little practice, I tell everybody. On the actual throttle here, this is your trim tab, which was something I was telling you about earlier. If you remember, you'll be able to see that right here on the screen. And up or down, you can see it changing. As I said before, 8 being the highest setting will get the nose really high in the air. And I mean really, really high. So I mean, if you happen to see a big wave or it's extra choppy, you can go ahead and raise that tab up. I almost never put it above 4, just because you'll see what I'm talking about when you're on the water. But again, this is on auto as well, and it'll change for you, but it's there if you need it. Other than that, there's another button down here. I wouldn't mess with that. It's just not important. It's not even hooked up, but pretty standard there. Other than that, when you're ready to power down, you really don't even have to do anything on this screen. Just go back to your button here, turn that off, turn this off, and then go turn your switch off in the back, and you're good to go.